getting you up and getting your sports day started. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
Hey, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have high school football on the air for you tonight. Coronado and Abilene Cooper. That'll be on Oldies 97.7 today. That should be a 3:45 start time with a 4 o'clock kickoff.
3:30.
3:30. Okay, 3:30 kick. 4 o'clock kick, 3:30 broadcast time. Coronado and Abilene Cooper over at Lowry Field today. And then later on tonight, it's homecoming for Lubbock Cooper. They'll take on Wichita Falls Rider. That is no homecoming game. I mean, it's not like that ain't no, fill in the blank school from, the sticks that, have basically 12 players coming in and you're going to feel good about your homecoming and have a good homecoming dance and stuff like that. They don't do the homecoming. Do they do the homecoming dance still? Did they do the homecoming dance at Friendship?
I don't think there's a dance at Friendship. My kids have not gone if there is.
Okay. All right.
I think they just go to the football game.
No mums or anything laying around.
Oh, there's plenty of mums.
Okay.
Man, I'm like the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Because your kids don't want mums?
My oldest is a senior, and I think we made it through without paying for a single mum.
Well, isn't the guy supposed to pay for the mum?
Oh, I don't know. Or then don't you have to buy him a garter or something?
Yeah, but I mean, garter versus mum. I mean, I'm buying garter all day long, right?
I guess, yeah, probably so. But we haven't had to buy any of that.
Well, that's...
And the younger one doesn't seem like she'd have any kind of interest in that.
Not right now, right? Yeah.
That's just not her style.
That's not her style.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not her style. You do teach them how to smile, right?
I don't think she will allow any guy to look like I've claimed this one.
Okay, wow. Okay.
I feel sorry for that young lad.
Man,
that just means the one that finally does will be extra special.
Yeah.
Because she won't mind that she's been claimed.
She'll be looking for one just like Dad.
Tough customer.
She wants to find one just like Dad.
That might be a long search. Because you are certainly cut out.
I'm not one of a kind because she's just like me.
No, right.
She is my twin.
So we'll have Lubbock Cooper and Wichita Falls Rider tonight on 100.7 The Score, 6:30 the broadcast time, 7 o'clock kick from the Pirates' place. And then tonight from Abilene, Friendship takes on Abilene High School, 6:30 the broadcast time, 7 o'clock play-by-play. A reminder on any of these games, you can listen to them over the air, Oldies 97.7 or the Oldies 97.7 app. Same thing with 100.7 The Score and Double T 97.3. And God knows, technology immigrant here. If I can do it, anybody can. So I feel like that's a pretty easy deal.
Open the app and push the button.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
Well, just to download it, simple. Just to go to the App Store and then download it, and then go to it, and then hit the button.
Did you get all your apps on your new phone?
I do. I think
you got them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
That was something I worried about when you were getting your new phone.
No, I know. There's so many things that I persevered through everything, and I don't think I had any missteps. I think I got everything switched over. Okie dokie.
Okay, I'm about to just go complete nerd on you. Did you get the Galaxy 22? Is that what you got?
I got the latest and greatest.
Of course.
Jamie, we're in trouble. I think I just bought the same phone Chuck has. And it's coming in on Monday.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go return.
Is it an Android?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not buying the other one anymore.
King Craig says this best chocolate shake ever is a chocolate cake shake from Portales in Chicago. Okay.
Those are very good.
The chocolate cake shake.
Those are very, very good.
I've had a chocolate cake shot, but I've not had a chocolate cake shake. Those are pretty good too. The chocolate cake shake, the
Two
shot.
Completely different ways of enjoying your evening.
Yes. Get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Our man in Vernon going to the Bacon celebration in Vernon today. Renamed Bacon City for today. Bacon City for 100 years has been home for Wright Bacon, food truck competition, dedication of a downtown pavilion, concert downtown, and there's a painted strip of bacon on the street. Hashtag all things bacon. Does that sound like something you'd go to?
Sign me up.
You know, I've not had one of these in quite some time, but I'll bet from one of those food trucks, you could get yourself a BLT. I've not had a good BLT. Do you like the BLT?
I don't really care for the lettuce or the tomato.
Okay.
But I love a grilled cheese sandwich with bacon in it.
Okay. All right. And I'm not really down with the grilled cheese. But I'd eat your lettuce and your tomato, and you could have my grilled cheese.
Sounds like.
Or you could just order a grilled cheese sandwich with bacon, and I would just order a BLT.
There you go.
We'd be happy as a lark. 6:21 this morning here on the Morning Drive. What's your confidence factor tomorrow? Texas Tech and North Carolina State.
Probably about a 4.
Okay, so that would be 40%. That's right. About 4 out of 10, or 40 out of 100, or
Sure.
40%, right?
No, not 4 out of 100. Just yeah,
4 out of 10.
Yeah,
40 out of 100, 40%.
Yeah.
40%. What's the one thing that you think they got to do tomorrow?
I think this is probably one of those. You got to do this every game, but I think I'll go with not stop, but if you're going to have a chance, you got to slow down that run game.
Okay. Because the first thing that comes to my mind is protect the quarterback, and you could say that about every game too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or give him some time to do what he needs to do. Donovan Smith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
this might be a cop-out answer. Play better than you did against Houston. Across the board. If you play like you did against Houston...
I think if you play like you did against Houston on defense, you got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Not on offense and special teams, though.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe it's just those two guys that need to play better than they did against Houston. And in some cases, significantly better than you did against Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think play really good against Houston. Play a lot better than you did against Houston. Okay. I think there were times when you played good. I think there were times when...
I do too. That was... overall, I thought there were flashes of really good stuff. And we talked about it by guys that earlier in the game played poorly, but found a way to get it done. It's just... and I just go back to if you can't protect your quarterback, so something that you've pointed out here, then it's going to lead to sacks. So you're playing behind the chains and you're in 2nd and 14, and it's going to lead to quick decisions by your quarterback that sometimes quick decisions lead to bad decisions and lead to turnovers, and it's going to lead to you not being able to throw the ball down the field because you don't have enough time to let your quarterback survey the defense and look for a receiver to get open. So it just changes what you do so much. Mm-hmm. It's such a big part of the game. So I think that your point is a good one here, and that and it is. You have to do it in every game, no doubt. But when you're going from last game to this game, that's the area that you have to see the most improvement.
Yeah, some of the offensive line. Donovan Smith, the Tech quarterback, was on Red Raider Football with Joey McGuire last night. And he was asked, Chris Lovell asked him about 4th and 20, and he said he wasn't thinking too much. He said I'm just thinking about my reads, and then with the play, he goes, I realized there was too much pressure, got to get out of there. He said JB was open, and the other receivers ran their routes, and that helped, too. Just it sounds like he is somewhat unflappable. At least that's the early read that I have on him. Unflappable.
No, okay. I like that. I think there were definitely some times where he was, bothered by the pressure and made some bad decisions because of it. But I think that's every quarterback.
Yeah. He said on the last play where he scored the touchdown, he was doing the reads. He stepped up he said a hole opened up, and he said to himself, "I gotta go."
Gotta go. I ain't gotta go home, but I'm not staying here.
He said his dad told him it wasn't the prettiest, but a win is a win.
I'll take it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Recapping yesterday while looking ahead to today's sports day. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
Today is the 16th day of September, 16. And here with this day in sports history is Jeff McGuire.
We missed a day in September that should have sparked something for us.
What's that?
With Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No, it's coming up.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah, we've not missed it yet.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you miss that.
Okay, I was worried we did. 1924. St. Louis Cardinals future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Jim Bottomley sets a Major League Baseball all-time single-game RBI record of 12 in a 17-3 rout of the Brooklyn Robins at Ebbets Field. 1951, U.S. National League umpire Frank Draskell clears the Dodgers bench, ejecting 15 players.
What'd they do?
I bet they were arguing balls and strikes from the dugout without going into a big yelling at the umpire.
There was probably something said. He didn't know exactly who said it. Nobody would take ownership, so he said, all right, all of you boys, get out.
Well, it'd be hard to have any reserves then, wouldn't it?
You sure would.
Who calls the bullpen then? Is a like if the bullpen calls the dugout, hey, you want to get anybody? The phone's just ringing.
That's right.
1953, did not know this. The American League approved St. Louis Browns' move to Baltimore to become the Orioles.
That St. Louis has had a hard time hanging on to teams.
I need to give a very quick correction from Mike Gustafson. That's Sonny Jim to you, sir, or pal. So my apologies, Gus. Going back to the St. Louis Cardinal player. 1960, Milwaukee Braves future Hall of Fame pitcher Warren Spahn no-hits the Philadelphia Phillies 4-0 at County Stadium. 1973, Buffalo's O.J. Simpson rushes for a then-record 250 yards in Buffalo's 31-13 win at New England.
Juice is loose.
Yeah, very much so. Jamie, I'm sorry. 1993, Minnesota Twins, Dave Winfield, is the 19th player to get 3,000 hits.
It's okay. Still my guy.
Still your guy.
I was happy. I was excited for him.
1995, Greg Maddux proving that there's no such thing as needed as home cooking when he wins his record-setting 17th consecutive road game.
Oh, man.
This just in, Greg Maddux knew how to pitch. 2000, Sammy Sosa becomes the second player to hit 50 home runs in 3 seasons consecutively, joining Mark McGwire.
What a quinky-dink, right?
Yeah, well, you know. I think he's the only player to have 60 multiple times.
I wonder what the inside of his body looks like.
Strange. That would be the way I would go there. And in 2018, Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes sets an NFL record of 10 touchdown passes in the first 2 weeks of a season, torching Pittsburgh's secondary for 6 TDs and leads the Chiefs to a 42-37 victory on the road.
Seems like every time you turn around, he's done something crazy. Like last night was his 22nd win as a starting quarterback. And since the merger in 1970, he's like the fastest to get to that number. Or was it 25? Whatever the number was, he was the fastest. He's always the fastest to get to something.
Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
22nd win as a starting quarterback?
Divisional.
Okay, I was going to say, he's got way more than 22 wins.
I think it's 22 in division wins. I saw that stat real quick, but I probably shouldn't have said it without being totally accurate on it. But, you know, what do you expect from me?
Kind of mumbling over there. What was that?
Today is National Guacamole Day, which, I'll be honest, not a huge fan.
I'm generally out on the guac.
I love that other people like guacamole, and I support them in their endeavors. I would rather have queso.
Okay.
I will fully admit that I have never, ever ever
Had
Had a whole
guacamole.
bowl of guacamole.
had guacamole touch my mouth, tongue, anything.
Okay.
Not one tiny bit of it.
There are times when I can get behind it.
I've not tried and said, not for me. I just look at it and say,
Okay.
nope, not for me.
I got you.
Yeah.
It is also National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day.
Oh man, I can get all kinds of behind that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Especially when it's fresh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And it feels like people who like guacamole really like guacamole. Everybody in my
Yes.
family does. They love it. They use it on so many different, or eat it on so many different things, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me.
Instead of birthdays today, we're going to get to those because there's a couple tomorrow that are a little more important. Tomorrow, happy birthday, former Texas Tech baseball players. Johnny Drost turns 31.
Wow.
And
Time flies.
he wasn't a great pitcher for Texas Tech, really, in any way, shape, or form. But former pitcher Patrick Mahomes turns 27 tomorrow.
Wow.
Today, Nick Jonas is 30. Amy Poehler, 51. Oral Hershiser, 64. Robin Yount, 67. Tim Raines, 63. And Matt Harrison is 37.
I guess Robin Yount.
Isn't that what I said?
Oh, you said Yount.
I said Yount. My apologies.
That's right.
And on this day in 1620, a group of individuals were tired of being in England. So they got on their boat and headed to the U.S.
They get on the Mayflower.
They got on the Mayflower.
The Santa Ana.
No, the Santa Ana was way before
Way
then.
before then. What was the other? There's
This
two
was
other ships.
The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Oh, Santa Maria. Thank you.
But that was in 1492. This was in 1620. They would later land at Plymouth Rock and form a colony, and then a trucking company, weirdly enough. I don't understand how that happened, but Mayflower, 1620 today.
Okay.
And that's this day in sports history.
That's this day in sports history. 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments this morning on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. Benchmark hotline is open as well this morning if you would like to journey on with us with regard to that. Okay. Somebody wants to know, do you eat avocados otherwise?
No.
No,
be a
I'm
negative.
out on the avocado.
Which is why I'm out on guacamole.
Yeah, again, like the guacamole is very, very occasionally now. The lucky lady, she loves her some guacamole, but I'm just not. I'm not as hip to it as others.
And listen, if I'm with a group of people and they want guacamole at a Mexican restaurant,
Sure,
go for it. I will have all the queso to myself.
that'd be a you do you. Right?
No, I encourage you to eat the guacamole. I'll take the queso.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness. We will have Friendship Football on the air for you tonight. They take on Abilene on the road, 6:30 the broadcast time, 7 o'clock kick. So they'll be in the pre-game show here in about 12 hours or so. So look forward to that.
Of all the many reasons, Jeff, that I'm happy that I moved to the South, queso is one of them. I don't think I ever knew queso existed when I lived in the Northeast.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you do like chili con queso, and you can have some fun with it and to put some different things in it. Yeah, big fan.
Well, I'm not going to go that route, but yeah, some fun things in it. That's not usually things I talk about with food. I want to put some fun things in my food.
Well, no, like it's not. It doesn't just have to be cheese and salsa. Like you can throw some hamburger in there. You put some sausage in there.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
You can do some things with it other than just the cheese and salsa.
One of the things that Coach McGuire was asked about on his radio show last night, if he was ever worried that they were going to lose the ball game, he said, "Yeah, 4th and 20." He said,
I would have been so disappointed if he said no.
he said, "Yeah, 4th and 20."
Yeah.
He said when they let Donnie out of the pocket, the guy came out of coverage and hit The guy came out of coverage and then he hit JB. He said if he hadn't, he said Donnie might have scored. That the hole might have been so open that he might have been able to just run it in himself. So
Maybe.
the other thing for those of you playing golf this weekend, Coach McGuire had this tip for you. And he said his dad taught him this. If you put Carmex on the front of your driver where the ball hits the the driver, he said, you hit it straight every time. That's what he says. He said Vaseline works too. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but apparently Coach McGuire puts Carmex on his driver. You know, like
It makes it go straight.
makes it go straight. makes the ball go straight. You're throwing a flag on
Throwing
that.
flags. I mean, if you mistime it and you shank it.
I don't
or-
know. You know. That's what he said.
I mean, if you,
That's what he said.
yeah,
That's what he said.
I don't think that's gonna fix my slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike says this. Hey guys, good morning. Had to work late this morning. What did I miss? Man, you missed a great hour.
Getting you up and getting your sports day started. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
I do have some quick facts for you on North Carolina State, okay, that I think you'll find interesting. Their quarterback, and we'll hear Coach McGuire talk about him in just a second. His name is Devin Leary. He's actually left-handed.
But he throws right-handed.
Yeah. And so when he was a kid, he wanted to play baseball with his brother, and only a right-handed glove was available, so he began to throw with his right hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Which, when you think about it, shouldn't it be a left-handed glove because you're throwing right? Because the glove's on your left hand if you're throwing right.
Yeah. I get where you're going, but
I'm wrong. I realize that, right? I just put you back into the twilight zone here.
I don't know that I have ever said a left-handed glove.
Okay.
I think I say a left-hander's glove
Okay.
or a right-hander's
Well,
glove.
the left-hander's glove goes on the right hand because I'm left-handed.
Correct.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those brain teasers. So anyway, Devin Leary, actually left-handed, but because he only had a right-handed glove that went on his left hand, he throws right-handed. How about this? One of their running backs, his name is Jordan Houston, okay? When he was 10 years old, he was the second fastest kid in the United States in the 100 meters competing for USA Track and Field. Isn't that pretty cool?
He's got some speed, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the second fastest kid. I mean, I don't know what happened to him, but he's rushed the ball so far this year 20 times, 88 yards gross. He's lost 7 yards, so 81 yards on the net. He has not scored a touchdown. His longest so far this year is 14 yards. So, if you see that guy down there, it's like, man, he's got some speed. Then you know why? Because he's had speed since he was 10 years old. Another guy, how about this? Derek Pitts, when he was 6, playing for the South DeKalb States, which was a midget league team in Atlanta, because, I mean, he's 6, so he's small, right? Midget football. They probably don't call it that anymore. It probably offends somebody. He took his first handoff, ran nearly 60 yards in the wrong direction before spiking the ball in the end zone. So then he's looking for his teammates to celebrate because he's 6, right? He wants to celebrate. But then he realized, hey, I'm in the wrong end zone. Probably his mom and dad were yelling at him. So he picked up the ball and ran 100 yards the other way for a real touchdown. How about that? Huh?
What's the other team too?
Yeah. I don't know. What they're 6 as well. The kicker, Christopher Dunn, who I've told you is their all-time leading scorer. He's like everything he kicks, he makes. He made himself a field goal that he welded to himself while he was in high school for his backyard, I guess. I mean, this is stuff that you need to know, Jamie, so that when you're sitting there with your family, you can tell them all about these things. And then one last thing.
If I start telling my family these things, they'll get up and walk away.
Probably because they're like, "Where's Dad? And what have you done with him?" Right?
We just want to watch the game, Dad.
You don't provide running commentary during the game. Do they ask you for your expert advice while you're watching the game?
No.
Dad, do they say, "Dad, what are we doing?"
No.
They don't do that.
Do they do that at your house?
Well, we have conversation about it. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of commentary running around my house. about all different kinds of things. One last thing for you that you will not find fascinating, but I did. Jeff may, others may. This guy named Chandler Zavala. If that name sounds familiar, he's a grad transfer, by the way. His dad is Demetrio Zavala, who is a chef and Chopped grand champion on the Food Network. I'll bet you he could cook some tailgate.
I bet he could. You should swing it by your house.
Let's listen to Joey McGuire and hear his Coach McGuire on the NC State quarterback, Devin Leary.
Some of the guys that they have, it's a veteran team, have a little bit of history with their quarterback. I didn't personally recruit him, but we did offer him whenever I was at the school in Waco. And, he had a connection with Coach Rule because he's, I believe, from Jersey, and so they knew each other. He's a pro. He's going to play in the NFL. I mean, he's a real deal, so it's going to be a test for us.
That's Joey McGuire.
I got to watch a replay of their game against, what was it? Charleston Southern.
Yeah, Charleston Southern.
And I thought he was really impressive, both with his feet and with his arm. He was extremely accurate. But that being said, they defended the pass about as well as Murray State did, and every receiver was wide open. So kind of hard to judge him. But I was very impressed. He looks like he's going to be a handful for the Red Raiders.
Look at you with the coach's clicker in your hand, watching the team that we're playing. That's.
It was on, and I was like, okay, well, I'm interested to see what they look like.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't go searching for it.
Okay. Devin Leary so far this year, 33 of 58, 1 interception, 449 yards, 5 touchdowns. His longest for 40 yards. Speaking of Texas Tech and the quarterback, Coach McGuire talked about the offensive line, which we think we all know this is critical, and working with Donovan Smith for a second game, because remember, the 2 weeks before the first game, he got no reps with the first team because all those went to Tyler Shuck getting ready for the season.
It's going to help being game 2 with those guys. We definitely can play better. And, we had a staff meeting this morning to challenge each other that, a lot of times things, when you win, you can look past because you're winning. And that's not this staff. Like, we want to fix, no matter if we're winning or losing, we're going to make sure the issues, whatever shows up on film, that we're attacking, and giving up the sacks we've talked about. I think at the end of the day, the film's going to be really good because the guys, some of it was getting beat early and having to settle in. Some of it was being a lot of a brand new offensive line. And then, Kitley would be the first person to tell you, and he probably will. I mean, some of it is play calling, making sure we're ahead of the sticks so we don't have to get in third down to where they know that we're throwing the football and they can pin their ears back and really come after us. So got a mixture of things that we can keep getting better at, and learned a lot from that game.
That play calling comment is interesting. And I don't know what I would have done different. I don't have any suggestions of what I would have done differently, but it kind of leads you to wonder, does he think that there were some plays called that should have been called differently because they didn't get ahead of the sticks and they found themselves, third and long and maybe in an obvious passing down?
Well, I think what he's talking about there, where even if you win, you have to look back and say, what would you have done differently? What could we be better at? Mm-hmm. I think that's the same exact thing right there. I mean, even though that you win the game or you find a way, clearly they weren't thrilled with the way the offense looked. Mm-hmm. And so if you're taking every aspect into the offense, whether it be offensive line play, quarterback play, your skill position guys or the guy calling the plays and how you're executing them, I mean, I don't think you just stop and say, okay, well, we won, so the play calling was good. And I can't think of anything where I was sitting there frustrated or feeling like that was a stupid play call or anything like that. I continue to feel like your play calling is being affected by your offensive line struggles and your confidence by the play caller in that offensive line. It changes the way you do things. So, I mean, I think that's going to be a struggle for us all season long. And again, unless you see improvement along the O-line.
Yeah. A number of people have written in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I love how Coach says when I was at that school in Waco. I do too. I think that's the school in Waco. I like it, from Red Raider 2 Guns. You like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't bother me if he said Baylor either.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
Yeah, it's just his thing.
Yeah,
He likes to do that.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, 7:25 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Jamie Scott, you probably have a lot of questions. You probably question yourself more than you question Jeff and I. You question Jeff and I, but you really have a question for us next.
I do.
Would you agree with maybe any and all of that?
Yes, I have a question for you next.
Recapping yesterday while looking ahead to today's sports day. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
Yes, sir. We are here anxiously awaiting your big question for Jeff and I and our fine listening audience.
Okay, starting last Saturday, the Red Raider football team definitely started a difficult stretch of games. They were able to pass test number 1, but I'm just looking at the next 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the next 2 games for the Red Raider football team do you feel like Texas Tech has a better chance to win? At NC State, home against Texas.
This is low-hanging fruit. I feel like it's Texas. For lots of different reasons. Chief of them is, there'll be a lot of energy in the stadium. You'll hopefully have a, quarterback, same quarterback, starting 3 straight games. So you feel like you've got some experience there, especially with, working with the offensive line. I feel like the defense can get to their guy. So I'm going to say Texas.
It's low-hanging fruit since you've dominated Texas at home in recent history.
Well, compared to the...
Longhorns come here and they just shaking their boots.
Yeah.
Well, can't wait to take our L and head back to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we beat them at home?
I don't have those notes yet.
I don't have all that?
I don't have that in my head yet. I'm sorry.
Was it 2008? Have you gotten a win at home since then?
Oh...
I know you've got 2 wins in Austin since then.
Yeah.
I don't know that you've got one here.
Yes, Red Raiders will be looking for their first home win over their in-state rival since 2008. So that's 14 years.
Yeah, low-hanging fruit.
The guy who caught the touchdown-winning pass has retired from the NFL.
From the NFL. Yeah.
So,
and his name's on the side of the stadium.
His side's on the stadium.
Yeah.
This is going to sound insane. Everything that you look at with regards to the rankings of these 2 teams and with NC State and Texas should tell you that NC State is going to be the harder opponent because it's on the road. You've got Texas at home. But because of all of that, I'm saying NC State's going to be the harder game to win. And that sounds insane. I sound like a crazy person right now because I'm extremely nervous about this week's game. I haven't even started worrying about next week's game, which might have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scared of next week's game, too, because which Texas team are we going to see?
Okay, so I told you guys earlier my confidence level for this game is about 40%, right?
Right, 4.
4 out of 10.
Yeah.
40%. Okay. I think my confidence level for the Texas game, as of right now, is probably at 50%.
Okay.
Okay. So while I think you're nowhere near low-hanging fruit,
That's probably a wild comment.
I do feel, and a big part of this is I'm really anxious to see what Texas looks like this weekend with their quarterback situation. I mean, they could be playing third-string guy, which doesn't mean they will definitely be playing third-string guy against us, but I don't know. I want to see what they look like. I want to see how banged up they are after last week. I think Texas is probably better than we thought they were going to be, but I don't know that they're at the level that they played last week against Alabama. I think that was Alabama playing down to them a little bit.
Okay.
So a home game and atmosphere and all that you mentioned,
Yeah.
I think is completely fair. I think those are good points. And NC State, I just I don't look at them as world beaters. I don't look at them and saying we can't beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think playing on the road it's gonna make it difficult.
Okay.
And they're such a veteran squad, and like you pointed out earlier, on the offensive side of the ball, you're a young team, and I don't know. I just think playing at home is going to make a difference. So I think they're both difficult. I favor NC State in this one. I think next week's a coin flip, and I usually kind of laugh at Chuck when he talks about, you've beaten this team 12 times in a row, so, and I'm like, that doesn't mean you're going to beat them this time. Well, I don't know what it is, but when the Longhorns come here, we seem to find a way to shoot off all 10 toes. Okay?
We kick an onside kick directly to the guy who's got a straight shot for the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, all 10 toes. They're gone by the end of the game. Okay?
I love that. That's awesome.
Maybe
That's
that's
great.
why we pooch kicked because we had shot off our toes. Okay? I don't know. So, I mean, all these things have me fearful of Chuck's low-hanging fruit.
Okay, so let me ask you this question: if you looked at the next two games, what would be your percentage you think of us splitting? Not saying which team's going to win or which game you're going to win. Like if of splitting, is it 50 or higher?
No.
Okay.
I would say it's like a 33% chance of that happening.
Of splitting. Okay. Whew, man. Okay. All right.
Where would you put it?
Oh, I was going to go like 50.
50% chance of us splitting.
Splitting, yeah. I figured since you had 40 for...
So what's your confidence level for the Texas game?
Well, I'm at 35, so I'm at 55.
55.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
I'm at a 12 today, and I don't feel great about next week either.
You're at 12% today?
Yes.
Okay. 12.
I'm at 12% for this week's
12.
game.
12%.
I'm super nervous about going into NC State
Okay, well, so
tomorrow.
what are you for next week then?
I haven't even started worrying about that game yet.
I
I've got enough to worry about right now, but I don't feel great about it either.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just drinking. I've had some extra Kool-Aid this morning. I don't know. We have not had Kool-Aid in
I
our
don't know.
refrigerator
There's so many
in quite some time.
variables here. I mean, I don't go into the stretch, Chuck, saying we can't go 2-0. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really think we're good enough to beat both teams. I really do.
Yeah.
Obviously, improving on the offensive line is a big part of it. But if the ball bounced your way and you force some turnovers, man, I don't think that you should go into either one of these games feeling like we don't have nearly the talent they do. We're going to get blown out of the water. I hope we don't get embarrassed. I don't think you should feel that way at all.
Yeah.
I really don't. But man, I wish that if that NC State game was at home, I might be able to flip that from 40 to 60.
Okay.
Okay. And that's part of the reason why I'm up to 50% on the Texas game.
Okay. Josh says, I feel we can win over North Carolina State.
I feel we can, yes. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm going to tell you now, I don't think we will, but I definitely think we can.
If y'all were betting men, this person knows that we're not, for the most part, betting men, because we don't. I mean, I'll bet lunches and stuff like that.
I bet the show will get weird every day.
Would you take Tech plus 10 points?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I don't want to give away my prediction. I think I'm going to pick Tech to fall just short of that.
Okay, just short of that. All right. 7:39 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
You too? Yeah, you.
I don't.
Don't let me be the only one that's wrong, Chuck.
Okay, no, okay. I think I would take Tech plus 10.
Okay.
I think I would take Tech plus 10. For whatever reason, I have this feeling that if you lose, you're going to get blown out. But I'll take the Tech plus 10. And blown out means lose by 14 or more. That would be my definition of blown out today, if you lose by 14 or more.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, semantics, but I mean, if it's 38-24, I don't feel like he got blown out.
Okay, depending on what happens, yeah. Late touchdown or something like that.
I mean, if it's 17-3, okay, I'll call that a blowout.
Okay. Johanna says this, my confidence level will depend on how Houston handles Kansas. We're going to pick that game upon further review. Houston and Kansas.
Yeah, I think that's a fun one this weekend. What time is it being played?
I don't have the...
Oh, don't act like you don't have it tattooed on your wrist.
I don't. I don't have it on my fist. That's a 3:00 game.
3 o'clock.
That's it. I got a couple of problems this weekend with the kickoff times. This would have been the week to have the 11 a.m. kickoff for me on the road for the Red Raiders. It would have been far more convenient for me, but I'll deal with it. Okay.
Thanks.
Big plays and even bigger laughs. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet97.3.com or the mobile app. You can access that through the Double T 97.3 mobile app, courtesy of Happy State Bank. Benchmark hotline is open as well, too, this morning. Texas Tech takes on number 12, North Carolina State, 12th in the coaches poll, 16th in Associated Press. Both teams are 2-0 on the season. Both teams have played a game that was close. Both teams have played a game that wasn't close. So make of that of which you want. Tech has never, in the history of ever, defeated multiple non-ranked conference opponents in the regular season in program history. Okay? So you got a little history working against you. Mm-hmm. Joey McGuire looking to become the fourth coach in program history to go 4-0. Leach, Kingsbury, and a guy named, I'll say Cat, named Del Morgan. That 1941 season probably got lost in the wash of WW2.
Oh, maybe so.
You know, I mean, they probably were getting ready to maybe have a, pretty good recruiting season, and then, Pearl Harbor came upon us. North Carolina State will return 10 starters defensively. That's a problem. They've given up about 267 yards a ball game and just under 11 and a half points a ball game. Texas Tech, though, has been averaging 441 yards per game passing, 536 yards per game total offense. But can you keep that? Can you keep that up? That's the big question.
Tough opponent, no doubt.
No doubt.
On the road.
Yeah. You mean non-conference? Yeah, non-conference, ranked non-conference. Sorry. Again, sometimes my brain goes faster than my mouth. I know that's hard to believe. Given how fast I talk.
Yeah, I mean, your mouth is, it's got some wheels.
Remember this, Malik Dunlap came to Texas Tech from North Carolina State. He was there for 23 games, 10 starts, and had 41 tackles plus 13 breakups. He's a native of Charlotte, and he's the only Red Raider on the roster from the state of North Carolina. Okay? So he knows of what we're going into, and Coach McGuire talked about that he would kind of give him a little bit of a insight of what to maybe expect there at Carter Finley. Okay. Also, Tech Associate Head Coach Kenny Perry had previously worked with North Carolina State Safeties Coach Joe DeForest. Those two were on the same staff at KU in 2016. Okay. Somebody says this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. My granddad was on that 41 team. How about that? That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which wins in a drag race, Chuck's mouth or his Pinewood Derby car? That's a great question.
I think you said it was doing 320 or
320,
something.
yeah. That's what it was clocked at. I mean, I don't make this stuff up. I had a picture to prove it. Okay?
I'm going to go with the Pinewood Derby car if it was going 320 miles an hour.
Yeah. Right. I know you're clearly interested in this, but Jamie, back-to-back times, Texas Tech has won on September 17th. And both times, the last 2 times, they've scored 59 points. They beat Louisiana Tech 59-45 and won at New Mexico 59-13. I remember that game because I went to that game and I stood on the top of the press box watching that game, watching the lightning that was all around, and never got struck. That game got stopped because of lightning, and it was way, way off to the west. And I was standing on the top of the press box like, hey, it's way over there. Also lost to Oklahoma in 1994 at OU, 17-11. That was during the defensive struggle days. Well, the defensive days of Texas Tech. They weren't struggles. Offensive struggle days.
They had 4 safeties and a field goal in that game.
Okay, funny guy. Okay, funny guy. We got bicyclists taking radar on the South Loop and Slide. That's a convenient spot for them. Okay, there's plenty of fast food right there, and
bicyclists. So that's your way of disparaging motorcycle
cops. I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I was just saying
bicyclists.
Well, somebody said moto cop, and I was just trying to be funny, but clearly I was not. Somebody says, "Are you sure you didn't get struck?" Pretty sure. Pretty sure I didn't get struck by lightning.
Pretty sure.
Hey, I found this. Whether you'll find this interesting or not, I highly doubt it, but I think you will. So one of their big guys.
You don't have to start every comment with whether or not whether you think I'll find this interesting. Just go with it.
Okay. That's probably well said.
Okay.
Economy of words.
Yeah.
North Carolina State wide receiver Thayer Thomas. Okay.
It's an interesting name, Thayer.
Thayer Thomas. Yep. Okay. He was coached in high school by Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt leads North Carolina State's all-time in touchdown receptions, okay?
And now he's challenging his records, which is kind of a cool deal.
He is. He has now 21 for his career after 8 TD catches last year and 1 in the season opener. So now he is tied for second with Jericho Cotchery, but he trails Torrey Holt by 10. So his 21, while it's tied for second there, he'd be tied for 9th at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Behind Michael Crabtree with 41, the Levelland coach, Lyle Leon, with 32, which is just always so fascinating to me that Lyle Leon is second, on the all-time list for touchdown receptions in Texas Tech history.
Oh, he's a good player, and he definitely had great leaping ability, and he clearly made plays near the goal line, had a kind of a nose for the football in that area of the field.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Eric Ward is in 3rd place at 31. But yeah, he'd be tied for 9th at Texas Tech with 21. Mm-hmm. That just kind of goes to show you how prolific things have been here with the Red Raiders. So kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. Chuck Lightning can strike from 6 miles away. Yes, we know. That will probably be my fate in life. I'll get struck by lightning. You guys will be going, ha, ha.
I don't think we'll go ha ha.
You won't?
I think we might say rather ironic. But we might say, well, I guess he can't dodge it.
Sorry about you.
Well, if you're in a lightning delay and you're standing on top of the press box, sorry about you. And you get hit by lightning, yeah, sorry about you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we've got another report of a bike cop.
Don't let Chuck shape you. Don't fall into his little trap.
It's funny. I think that's what the parents say to the grandkids. Don't let Big Paw shape you. I think that's probably what they say privately. In front of me, they're glowing, but behind me, they're probably don't fall into the Big Paw trap, okay? Just kind of follow along, but just know that that's not always the best way to go, right?
I tell my kids not to fall into my trap.
Yeah. So 85th in Indiana. And that's another sneaky little spot that I used to fall victim to, at least close to falling victim to when we were located south of town at 98th and University, and we've moved the compound to downtown.
Just to avoid the police officers for Chuck.
Even though we're like a block away from headquarters. You know, a couple blocks away from. I mean, you go over there, man. They're thick as thieves. You know, and they're building.
And just like our building is thick as thieves with radio guys, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're thick as thieves. They're thick as thieves.
It's where they go to work.
where they go to work. They're getting ready to have a new one. And you can see it from here, so you know you'll know when Commissioner Gordon is there. Okay. 8:24 this morning here on the morning drive. Somebody reports this according to NOAA weather radar: 83 and light winds in Raleigh. I think there's
Sounds nice.
I've seen some people that are kind of heading that way, moseying that way to Raleigh. So I mean, it's a sold out crowd. So obviously there'll be predominantly North Carolina State fans, but I think you'll have some scattered Red Raiders in there.
Sure.
Remember, they'll all be like down around the end zone on the east side. That's where we put their fans, opposing teams' fans as well. So that's if you'll do that.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.